Hello Year 5, today is your Thursday maths lesson, which is your last video lesson of the week. Today we are going to be continuing with decimals, but today we're going to be comparing and ordering them. Before we begin with today's lesson, here are the answers to Wednesday's worksheet. So on this slide you have the answers to questions 1 ABC and question 2 A to E. So pause the video here and just mark your work, see if you've got everything right, and don't worry if you've got anything wrong. Hopefully seeing the answers will help you see where you went wrong. So this slide is showing you questions 1 and 2. And then on this slide you have the answers to questions 3, A, B, C, and then question 4, A to G. Now, as I've said before, if at any point or if you're looking at the answers and you think, oh, Miss Jill, I just don't get it, I still don't get it even when I'm looking at the answers, the correct answers, please can you drop me or Mrs. Moore a dojo message and we can try and work out where your confusion or misconceptions lie. Okay, let's crack on with today's lesson, which is about comparing and ordering decimals. So let's look at comparing decimals. So, to compare decimal numbers, we compare the place value of the digits in each number. First, we look at the digits in the largest place value position, furthest to the left. So we know that ones are greater than tenths, which are greater than hundredths. So when we're looking at comparing decimal numbers, we always start at the left. So, and I've just given you a little because I have to admit sometimes I panic about left and right. This way is left. So in our ones column we have an 8 and this digit stands for 8 ones. In this column, our tenths, we have a 1 and this digit stands for 1/10. And then here we have a 3 in our hundredths column, therefore this digit stands for 3 hundredths. So this decimal number is 8.13. Okay, so let's think about comparing two decimal numbers. The question is, which number is greater? Which number is bigger? 2.1 or 2.2? Now we know when we're comparing numbers, we need to look at their place value and see which has the greatest, and we need to start on the left. So we need to be looking in our ones. Now, you can see these two numbers have the same number in the ones place value position. They both have 2 ones. So we therefore need to move to the next number position, the tenths. So this number, 2.1, has 1/10. 2.2 has 2/10. So there are more tenths in this number, so we therefore know that this number is greater. So we know 2.2 is greater than 2.1. And this is when we're going to have to think about those greater than, less than symbols, the crocodile mouths. And we would say that 2.2 is greater than 2.1. And remember, the crocodile teeth always are eating the greater number. Right, so here's your first little mini in-lesson task. It says fill in the blanks, so fill in those squares, with greater than or less than or equal to. I'm pretty sure there's no equal to, and I think you can see that. So I've given you the reminder on the left. So, exactly, I told you I wasn't good at left and right. On the right, here you go, if you get a little bit stumped. So, you have 7.3 and 7.5, 6.2 and 6.1, 0.8 and 0.6. And you just simply have to tell me which number is greater than which number, or which is less than which number, using the symbols. So, pause the video here and then come back and we will have a look. Right, let's look at the first one. So we have 7.3 and 7.5, and we know that we have to start on the left, 7.3, 7.5. Right, well, both of these numbers have 7 ones. So we need to move to the tenths column. We have a 3. We have a 5. We know that 5 is greater than 3. 3 is less than 5. So we will put in this symbol. So this tells us that 7.3 is less than 7.5, or if we read it the other way, 7.5 is greater than 7.3. Next one, 6.2 and 6.1. 6.2 is greater than 6.1. 0.8 and 0.6. We have no ones. We have only tenths. We have 8 tenths in this number and 6 tenths in this number. We all know 8 is greater than 6, so 0.8 is greater than 0.6. It is as simple as that. Okay, let's have a go at comparing two more decimal numbers. So here we have 8.91 and we have 8.63. And the question is asking you which number is greater. Now we know we need to work out which number is bigger. So we can see very clearly that both numbers have 8 ones. And then we would need to move down towards the tenths. And we can see that we have 8.91 and 8.63. Now clearly we know that 9 is greater than 6. 9 is bigger than 6. So, and sorry, that was just a little reminder to start on the left. So you start in the ones column. Or if this number was bigger and it had a tens, you would start in the tens. You always start on the left when you're comparing to find out which is greater or less than. So we have 8.91 and 8.63. And we've just looked and we can see that although they both have 8 in the ones column, 8.91 is the greater number because as we move down our place value grid, we can see it has more tenths. So we would then put this symbol. You obviously would not do the eyes and the teeth, but I'm just giving you this because it's just a bit more fun. But you would do your arrow pointing, so the mouth kind of, if there was a mouth eating, the greater number. Okay, here's another little task for you. The question says, use the greater than or less than or equal symbol to compare these decimal numbers. So here you have 22.17, and you need to tell me, is it greater, less than, or equal to 22.63? Now this one is trying to throw you off, but all you need to do is turn 4 ones, 6 tenths, and 2 hundredths. You just need to think of it as an actual number, or you can write it down, and you need to tell me, is this number greater than, less than, or equal to this number? And then again, 8.7, which symbol? 0.9. Now, if you have a piece of paper, you could just quickly write them down and add in the correct symbols, or I'm happy for you to just say them, or use your finger and imagine you're drawing them into the table. So pause the video here and have a go at those, and then come back and we will talk about them. Okay, let's look at the first one. So 22.17 and 22.63. Now, we start on the left. We can very clearly see that we have a 2 in our tenths, a 2 in our ones in both. So the number is 22. So we now need to look at our tenths and hundredths. So 1 is obviously less than 6. So we now know that 22.17 is less than 22.16. I'm actually going to give you the answers now because they're popping up like that. So yes. So 22.17 is less than 22.63. Now, 4 ones, 6 tenths, and 2 hundredths, if you'd written it as in numerals, you would have seen that it is equal to 4.62. So I'm hoping you put an equal symbol in here. Now, 8.71 is obviously greater than 0.9, because it's very clear that 8.7 has 8, and this number is less than 1. Okay, fingers crossed you got that correct. If you got anything wrong there, just have a look and see where you might have gone wrong now that I've explained it. Okay, Year 5, it's your turn again. You might have noticed that I'm making this lesson more about you than me doing all the hard work. So, it says, for this table, write a decimal number to make each statement correct. So, there are wrong answers to this, but there are also so many right answers that I can't really give you the correct one. But you need to know what this symbol means. Does it mean, well, this one means greater than. So something is greater than 2.08. 3 tens, 8 ones, and 4 hundredths is equal to what number? 14.1 is less than what number? Right, pause the video here and you can simply just say any numbers that would fit here, here, and here. And then we'll come back. Right, okay, so what you need in this box is any number greater than 2.08. So any decimal number any decimal number from 2.09 onwards. So you could put 20.19, you could put 3.29, you could put 500.1. Any number greater than this. And the next number up from that would be 2.09, so you could even just put 2.09. And in this box, this number is equal to, so what you will have here, there is only one option here, it would be 3 tens, 8 ones, decimal point, 0 tenths, there's no tenths, and then there are 4, excuse my awful writing, hundredths, so 38.04. In this one, in the next one, so in here you've got 14.1, which is less than, and it is any number bigger than 14.1, so it could just be 14.2, or it could be 900.9, or it could just be 15.3. So any number greater than 14.1. Okay? Right, now we're going to think about ordering decimals. So what we've been doing up till this point is comparing. So which is greater, which is less than, are any of them equal to? What we're going to do here is order them. So you can see from this image that we're going to order them from smallest to largest, or you could go the other way. So we have the decimal numbers 8.6. So that this number tells me we've got 8 ones and 6 tenths. 8.06, 8 ones, no tenths, 6 hundredths. 8.53, again, 8 ones, 5 tenths, 3 hundredths. And 8.36, so again, 8 ones, decimal point, 3 tenths, and 6 hundredths. So if we're going to go about ordering them, it says, let's start with the digits in the largest place value position, which in this case is the ones. So we can see here that they all have 8 ones. So we know that what we need to do is to move to the next place value position. So we're going to now move to the tenths. So here we have 6 tenths, 0 tenths, 5 tenths, and 3 tenths. So what I would like you to do is you could either go from smallest to largest, or you can start with the largest and go to the smallest. I want you to say these numbers, pause the video, or write them down on your whiteboard or on your piece of paper if you have a piece of paper. I want you to write them down in the correct order, either going from smallest to largest or from largest to smallest. So pause the video here and have a go at that. Okay, let's have a go. So, as we discussed, they all have 8 ones. I just need to double check which direction I'm going. Right, I'm going from smallest. So then what I did was I moved to my tenths. Okay, 8.06 has no tenths, where the others all have tenths. So 8.06 is the smallest number. So we've got rid of 8.06. We're looking at the tenths of the other ones. We've got 3 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths. We know that 3 tenths is the least amount of tenths. So 8.36 is next in our ordering. Then we have 8.53. And then we have 8.6. So well done if you got those right. If you got them wrong, just have another look and remember that you always start on the left. So you start with the largest place value position, which in this case is the 1. So we've got 8, and you move down. You might find it easier to go from largest to smallest. Okay, it is your go again. The question says, order these numbers from smallest to greatest. So you just need to do simply that. So you can see very clearly there's a yellow arrow going from smallest on the left to greatest on the right. So you need to look at these numbers and remember you start at the largest place value position, which in this case is tens, and then you move down until there is a difference. So you're going from the smallest number on the left to the greatest. So pause the video here and then come back and we'll go through it. Okay, so our numbers are 16.05, 10.5, 16.5 and 10.65. Now, we all know 10 is less than 16. So first of all, we're going to deal with our tens, these two numbers, because they are going to be smaller than the two numbers that are 16. So 16.5 or 16.65. So we need to look in our tenths column because our tens and our ones are both the same. They both are showing 10, the number 10. So we have 5 tenths in this number and 6 tenths in this number. Now we know that a number with less tenths is smaller, so the smallest number of these 4 is 10.5, and then we know as this is the only other 10, 10.65. Now, which number is smaller, 16.5 or 16.05? So we need to look in our tenths column. Well, this number has no tenths at all, and this number has 5 tenths. So this number is obviously smaller. So the next number in our sequence would be 16.05, leaving the greatest number out of these 4 numbers as 16.5. Right, it's over to you now. This is your last lesson on decimals for the week. So this is your last decimals worksheet for the week. So have a go at the worksheet now. If you get stuck at any point, obviously come back to this video. It's all to do with comparing and ordering decimal numbers. So if you're stuck at any point, anything you need is within this video. If you just don't understand whatsoever at all, then please do message Mrs. Moore or myself. And you need to post this work to your Dojo portfolio today so that we can see how you've done. So good luck with that. I'm looking forward to seeing how you get on.